In this video, I'm going to show you how to cast on and join for working in the round on a circular needle. I'm going to use a small 16-inch circular. So this is what you'd use to either do a small cowl or a hat. So the first step is to cast on a number of stitches that your pattern calls for. I'm going to go ahead and use the long tail cast on technique using the thumb method. I won't go into details of the cast on here because I have a whole separate video about it on my YouTube channel. So if you need to learn how to do the long tail cast on, please refer to that video right here on my channel. So I'm going to go ahead and just do my slip knot. Okay, so I'm going to cast on for my nocturnal hat pattern, which is actually a free pattern if you subscribe to my newsletter. And in this pattern, you cast on 84 stitches on a size 10 16-inch needle like this, and using bulky weight yarn. I'm using Baba Bulky by UU Yarns. So I will cast on those stitches now. You'll see because I have 84 stitches to cast on, we're going to fast forward through it. So it's going to look like I'm casting on really quickly. And again, if you need to refer to how to cast on, you can go to my long tail cast on video here on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm just about done casting on. I have just a few more stitches to do here. And as you can see, now that I'm at about 84 stitches, as I was casting on, they just slide down the cable and they actually start sliding onto the other needle as I increase the amount of stitches cast on. But now I have the proper amount, and what you want to do is have the end that has the working yarn attached to it on your right side. And here I still have quite a long tail left over. So what I'm going to do, just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to trim that long tail. There we go. Okay, so on the right hand side is the end that has the working yarn attached to it. And then here's the other end. So what we want to do is we want to push the stitches onto this left needle so that it goes all the way towards the tip, just like that. Now, what you'll find in patterns where you're joining to work in the round is that it will have something along the lines of, it'll say, being careful not to twist stitches before you join to work in the round. So what that means is that you want all your stitches going in the same direction. So as you can see on here, you want to make sure that that bottom of the stitch, it's always going in the same direction all the way around. I'm going to show you what it looks like if it was twisted. If it was twisted, it would look something like that. So see how it's on the bottom here, but then all of a sudden you don't see any bottom here. The bottom kind of comes up over the top, and then you see the bottom again there. Now that would be a twist, and that would not be good. So before you do any joining, you always just want to take a look, and I like to put it flat on a surface like this to line up. It's not as difficult when you're on a 16-inch circular like this. It becomes a little bit more challenging when, let's say, you're casting on for a sweater on a 32-inch needle and you have a lot of stitches. It's especially helpful to put it on a flat surface and really line things up to make sure that you don't have any twists in there. Once you've confirmed that all the stitches are in the same direction, you're going to place a marker. So I'm going to take a marker here, and you're going to place it on your right needle. Now it doesn't have to be a removable marker like this. It can be any kind of marker. Then you're going to want to insert your right needle into the first stitch here on your left needle. So pick up your needles, and you're going to insert this needle right here. And this is the joining part. So when you see in the pattern where it says join for working the round, that's this right here. Now, one tip that I have is for the very first stitch that you knit, I actually knit it with both the tail and my working yarn. I find that that helps to cinch up any gap that might appear. Even with doing this, you'll still have a little bit of a gap that appears, but it's easily fixed when you weave in your tail at the end. So for that very first stitch, I'm going to work with both the tail and the working yarn and knit that first stitch. Now once you've knit the first stitch, you're now officially joined to work in the round. And what I do is I usually put the work down one more time, do one more little assessment to make sure that I don't see any twists. Once I've confirmed that, then just make sure you drop the tail and you continue with only the working yarn. Now since I'm working on the nocturnal hat, that's a knit one, purl one stitch pattern. So I'm going to bring the yarn to the front of the work and I'm going to go ahead and purl that next stitch. And then I'm just going to do a couple more stitches here. Okay. So we have officially joined to work in the round.